have suffered through manipulation of the judicial system by massive, controversial social media influencer Bebop and BB, aka Diane Patricia Evans. Today, you will also meet another key party who has been here since September of 2022. Activist, part 10. This one has a lot of footage, but make sure you listen very carefully. Though I typically work alone, there is a time to work together. The day after being terrorized, check out episodes 8 and 9 for more info, seems like the kind of day that you say yes to an offer, like somebody saying, hey, I can co-host with you to take some of the heat off. A guest on my live reached out and let me know that she had already been working on this issue with some colleagues. She had also attempted to educate a podcaster. It may or may not come up later, but this feels worth mentioning. The man who made this podcast was recently deplatformed for alleged misconduct. We ended up bonding about how poorly he had handled the subject. I had a strong emotional connection to my co-host. That is something that my audience commented on constantly. When she decided to weigh in the snark group, she let everyone know that she had a parasocial relationship with me. Now, I appreciate that she admitted that, but here is a very important distinction to this story. I didn't have one with her. There are many wonderful, full, healthy relationships that have been built here, and you'll hear about some of them later. But for now, I want to just plant a little seed. Why were certain relationships here more vulnerable than they should have been? Later, you will hear one of the weirdest and most easily debunked narratives ever in the history of the world, that there were a handful of women who were allegedly in an inner circle where I was their leader. When it's time for you to see exactly what happened there, I want to make sure that you clear the floor in front of you so you have a place for your jaw to fall. Now on to October 10th, 2022. On the first day of co-hosting, TikTok gave to me. Somebody comes into the chat on co-host's side with a completely unacceptable screen name. Note that when you are on TikTok and you're co-hosting, there are two separate chats. What quickly became clear is that there was private information being released on the other side. I left full reign up to co-host to decide exactly how to handle this, because while there were a few comments about both of us, mostly she was the one being victimized in this moment and deserved to have the power to determine what happened. After the live, co-host and I debriefed about what had happened. I fully gave her an out. We talked about how traumatic it had already been, and she passed on leaving, saying she wanted to continue. The next day was even worse. October 11th, 2022. Braden comes into the chat late at night, says that he had just been doxxed and he needs our help. He agrees to send me what has happened so that I can look at it and send it to a few trusted people to help get it taken down. A few minutes later, we see this.
At night, see the sunshine. I don't know where.
There are only two things my mind can put together on this. One, someone has hurt Braden in some way. Two, most toxic, sociopathic prank ever. Myself, co-host, Erdies, and another woman, FK and Meredith, stay up all night desperately seeking Braden to make sure that he's alive. A few people send tips. FKN acquires an address and calls for a welfare check. We are later assured that Braden is okay by the police. Co-host and I return and we tell the live what we know. We keep it very simple. He's safe according to the police, but we cannot in any way account for his video or what happened. Braden is unreachable, but then he reaches out to me a few days later. He is livid. He offers me an elaborate explanation, even showing what he likes to call receipts, but I cannot vouch for his story. I tell him in plain language that we can be friends. I have no judgment. I have no problem with anything he did, but I cannot vouch for something I have not seen. Braden demands a space to come onto the live and explain his story, which he is afforded immediately. Mostly we just let him talk and tell his story, but he leaves crying and upset. He immediately goes live and starts talking about me, as well as co-host.
This that has no qualifications for this is sitting and saying that something's going on, and people literally want to follow her like she's Hitler, and they're the Aryan race, like, and just be like, oh yes, you're right, you're right, you're right. Do your research.
Braden begins his path of going live multiple times per week for months, mostly yelling about me, trying to discredit me, defaming me, making false, serious allegations. Braden went on to make dozens upon dozens of videos trying to destroy me.
Okay, so if somebody went on Bonnie's page and misgendered me when they know my gender,
right,
and Bonnie didn't take those messages down, and Bonnie didn't say, hey, you know what, it doesn't matter what I feel about him, but you are not going to misgender him on my page. What does that say about her?
That she obviously has issues with that type of community.
Later, we will get to the verified unalive threats and the police response.
I want to come on here and I want to speak. I can speak. I am respectful. I'm not doing anything wrong to anybody.
For now, I just want you to be able to see a tiny piece of what this has been like. And I want you to know about the many pieces that you have been missing this entire time as they deeply impact this story. Brayden has a one-sided vendetta and has made career-ending, damaging, dangerous accusations about me. This is a foundation you need in order to understand the whole journey. If you're looking deeper here, you might also be interested to know that Brayden was featured in Paramount Plus documentary Cyber Sleuths for his role in being a troll in the Idaho 4 story, giving verifiably false information. Over the last 21 months or so, Brayden has successfully gotten multiple people to take unsettling actions against me.
Jealous much?
Yeah.
Maybe there's just jealous people listen to other people besides them. Don't
Yeah,
cry.
you know what? I do have mental health issues. I have depression from a lot of things that have
We all
happened in my
do.
life. I have anxiety disorder from a lot of things. I do. I am a person that has mental health issues.
Are we going to talk
that is-
about bipolar disorder that she clearly has? No, we're not going to talk about that.
For the 7 weeks I had a co-host on my live, he did truly deplorable things to her as well, which we'll talk about next.
I'm not coming on here saying anything wrong. I can come on here and have any emotions I want to. I'm not offending anybody. I'm not harming anybody. I'm not doing anything wrong, but just being myself.
But there's somebody who was there the whole time with an even bigger vendetta. Keep watching, this story only gets crazier.
I am not saying anything wrong to anybody. How do they have my info? I don't know. I have no idea.
I think that everybody should have an opportunity to express awareness. Because let's say something really quick right here. Let's say, for example, that somebody else's opinion is right. Maybe something that Maggie says, or Ashley says, or Angela says, or John or Joe says, might be the missing puzzle piece. That might be it.
They could have got me killed. That's some real stuff. That is some real stuff. They could have got me killed. Bringing police officers here, randomly knocking on my door at 3 o'clock in the morning, I could have went ballistic not knowing what was going on. And they could have had me killed for no reason. There's no reason for that. I am just literally sitting on live talking about my experiences or talking about the way that I feel. I have every right to do that. It fucking Bonnie harassed and stalked this woman. Had nothing to do with me. Watch the videos. Y'all want to say, oh, that's not credible. Really broke me. I stayed strong for as long as I could. But tonight you broke me. You really did. And you should feel happy because this is what you guys wanted. I'm not a part of being a troll. I'm not a troll. It's relevant. People have said I was a troll because of Bonnie. I'm showing my fucking proof. I don't understand how you people don't fucking understand that. That's not legit because Dot did this to Bonnie, but I'm showing you that Bonnie harassed and stalked them. I'm showing you the proof right now that Bonnie stalked, harassed, doxed, and got in trouble with this woman that had nothing to do with me. Dot was a troll for Bebop and Bebe. Bonnie harassed and stalked this woman. Watch the videos. Proof of what Bonnie did. It is going to be the Dot Show. I'm going to post all my tea. If you want to go and you want to use me to make money, you better pay me. You better write that check. Because if you don't, I'm getting a lawyer. I'm going to sue your ass. I'm going to sue your ass. I'm going to sue your ass.